What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 3. I guess to start, we're gonna take a moment of silence for Kobe Bryant's passing here on that helicopter crash. So, perfect. All right. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I wasn't too sure about it actually right away, if he actually passed or not, because it was so quick to be reported that I really didn't want to put anything out on social media or anything like that immediately, because I really didn't know for sure, like, if it was actually him. I mean, the moment that the helicopter crashed, it was immediately put out by TMZ. Like, they literally got that as soon as, like, it hit the hill. I don't know if they were already, like, watching him for some sort of reason, or if, like, TMZ just so happened to be there. I don't know. The sheriff of the situation seemed pretty pissed off about the whole deal. He thought it was very disrespectful that TMZ reported it right away, and pretty much, like, Kobe's wife and family heard about his passing, like, even before the police did their whole investigation, before an officer was able to go to their door and notify them of his passing, which in some degree I kind of agree with him, but in another degree it's like, if they wouldn't have put it out there right away, then other media outlets would have. That's kind of the point of media, is to put everything, as soon as you get the news, you put it out there. So it's kind of a shitty situation on that end. So I do see, like, his point. That's kind of a shitty way to find out, but in hindsight, like, that's kind of media's job, is to be on top of this kind of thing. The whole kind of thing was, I looked at it as pretty sketchy anyways, because, like, from what I know at this point now, is that they technically got, like, a clearance to be out flying and stuff in the foggy ass weather anyways. So technically I look at it as maybe they shouldn't have been flying in the first place. I mean, from reports that I've read, they, like, landed all, like, police helicopters, medical, and all that. Like, it was, like, kind of like a no-fly time, and I guess they got a special clearance to be out flying in it. I mean, from my understanding, they were on the way to a basketball game, and they flew frequently to these games and to, like, Lakers games or whatever, So it kind of wasn't abnormal for them to be flying for sure, but in the conditions that they were flying in were kind of sketchy from the get-go, And I guess the pilot must have felt pretty confident in his skills to be able to fly. He's probably, they probably take, like, the same kind of path each time, which is weird, because how they crashed kind of doesn't make any sense, because I would just assume on that also is there's a path that you've flown, like, a bunch of times, and, I'm sure you have, like, a GPS coordinates in there that tells you, like, oh, hey, this is the route you go, this is what you take, this is what you do, So it's kind of weird. It's kind of a, messed up situation. I'm no pilot, so quite honestly, I couldn't tell you here or there, exactly what it is. There was a bunch of false reports and a bunch of false things that came out initially, and that was just a complete mess. So I didn't really want to say anything right away or kind of put anything out there on social media, because there were so many things coming out all at once that you really didn't know what was true, you didn't know what was false, you didn't know what was fake, you didn't really know, So I was like, well, I'm not going to say anything until, kind of everything gets set in stone. In which, to my understanding, as I'm doing this, is they're still investigating on exactly how the crash occurred and all this. The helicopter, I guess, did not have, like, a black box, so they're not required, so they're not able to go back and see exactly everything that partook. I did listen to the recordings that of, like, Kobe's pilot and the air traffic control. And I don't know, it sounded all normal, like normal stuff, like they were talking about your like numbers, coordinates, how high they were and stuff like this. Like it was nothing abnormal. Like there was no Mayday call, which is kind of really weird because you can listen to him, and at the very end he just says kind of like some like whatever, some numbers or something, and then the air traffic control guy is saying, okay, well, you're getting your altitude is getting too low, you're starting to go basically off our radar. And then there was just pure silence, and then he just vanished off the radar, which I assume is when they crashed. But was kind of weird because, no, and I guess they'll investigate this more, but it's kind of weird that, did he know that something was wrong with the helicopter before in flight or after while in flight, It's kind of like it's weird that just out of the blue, he would crash, because I would only assume that he's flown this flight so many times that he knew which way to go, how to go, all this, knew his coordinates of like, oh, there's a hill right here, there's a hill right here. Don't go too left, don't go too right, and just, follow the same path you always follow. But then again, like I said, I'm no pilot, so I don't know specifically, but to me and what I've read and what I've seen, it just kind of seems very awkward that all this did happen. But also then again, something can just happen, out of the blue immediately, and, there was no time to do a Mayday call or anything like that, so rest in peace, Kobe. I just, we can speculate, and I'm sure any of you listening probably has a lot of speculations also, but until everything comes out, until we can find as many answers as we can, because ultimately the full grasp of everything we probably will never know, we'll never know. So ultimately didn't have a black box on board, so you can't kind of really do like a full entire diagnosis without that. So that's kind of unfortunate for everyone, but he was a complete icon. He was a fucking basketball legend. So I guess quite honestly, I can't say I was like the biggest fan of him or anything like that. Like, I grew up kind of watching him play basketball and stuff like that. And, I grew up, and dude, it was Kobe Bryant, dude. It was like Michael Jordan, he's a household name, I guess now is like all the younger people know him as, you take a balled up piece of paper and you throw it into the trash can and you say, Kobe, like that. That's kind of where Kobe has stuck around, but it's not somebody I ever followed. It wasn't somebody that I was just seeing what they were doing, and they're like, he's not on my Google search, I guess, quite honestly, but still sucks to lose a legend, and I'm sure, well, from what I've seen now, they're going to do big things with him and definitely keep him in remembrance and stuff like that. So, I saw at the Staples Stadium, like a lot of fans that were really did follow him, and, really were big fans, went to all Staples Stadium and did a big memorial thing for him. They even, they did one all around the country, I should say. There was a bunch of them that a bunch of people went out and paid their respects and did a big thing. So that was pretty neat to see. It's kind in some way, it's kind of like nobody really, really gives people the limelight, especially big stars like this, until something tragic happens. Like you didn't really ever hear about Kobe Bryant, and then, okay, this happened, and now he's all over the news, so it's kind of weird. But for sure, it is all a little weird, I guess, ultimately, to see what all comes of this, or to hear or read actually what all really happened will be interesting, because a lot of it just, like the rest of us, we have a lot more questions than answers, and just, it doesn't really, in my eyes, it doesn't make a lot of sense how something like this happened, and someone that was this well experienced, someone that, like even Kobe, he flew a lot, he was always going to games, he was always taking the helicopter, getting to the stadium from where he lived, like that wasn't just a simple, drive down the road, like especially in fucking California traffic, dude. Like flying over them was probably the best option. So yeah, that's what he did. Quite honestly, that day could they have drove? Could they have not have just taken the flight? Could they have just known like, hey, it's pretty sketchy weather conditions, and we're just gonna pass on the whole helicopter today. I also want to say rest in peace to everybody else that was on board also, because a lot of people ain't throwing that out there. Like, it's been about Kobe and his daughter, but I mean, there were other people on board, and I don't really see them getting too much recognition at all. Like, they're just kind of being pushed to the side. So that's kind of messed up, dude. And like, I don't see some big memorial going up for this coach. I guess one of the dudes I was with, I don't even know his name. Yeah, right. That's as much as it's been broadcasted. But he was like a college coach, I guess. And I don't see like his college doing a big thing. Now, they might have. I just did not see it. Okay, so they might have, and I might be wrong, and they might have done a big thing. But as far as what I've seen, and as far as my knowledge of it, I haven't seen it. That's all I'm saying. If they've done one, awesome, totally. I retract that statement. But right now, I haven't seen it. So, and if they haven't done it, that's fucked up, and I think they should do it. So, cover all my ends there. Although it's really weird. That was a really just weird situation. So, again, Kobe Bryant, his daughter, everybody else on board, R.I.P. And whatever happened and whatever went wrong, just work on prevention. Take it as a lesson learned, and let's go on prevention for it not to happen again to anybody else. I mean, quite honestly, that's what we're supposed to do with these kind of situations. I get it, he's a big-time star, and he was like one of the greatest basketball players to ever live, but we also got to take this and take it as a learning curve and learn from the stuff that just happened, and quite honestly, maybe we shouldn't be just handing out, like, shitty weather passes for, any old pilot, like, take it from like you're landing police helicopters, and I would only imagine they're probably well more trained and well more like knowing flying in shitty conditions than just this dude was. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna probably give the officer pilots probably a lot more like credentials than what this guy had. So if they're landing them, you should land everybody, and that's just kind of how it goes. Like, don't let people fly out in these sketchy situations, even if they think that they're comfortable and confident and whatever, because you can always go on, well, maybe if the weather conditions weren't bad, maybe this wouldn't have happened, or maybe it was inevitable. I don't know. There's a whole lot of ifs, ands, and buts, but I'm just saying, if you're landing police helicopters, and I was a pilot of a helicopter, I'd probably just be like, shit, if they're landing, I should probably not be flying. And like, that's just kind of where I'm going with that whole thing. And I don't know, I think that should just be kind of just a law. Let's just make that law. That's kind of where I'm going with the whole thing. And don't worry, I'm hitting on this e-cig again. Because, like, I have this imagination that I'm going to quit smoking cigarettes again. So randomly, you're just going to hear me puffing on an e-cig because, well, I'm a fiend. It probably does not sound awesome in audio at all. So, maybe I'll just hold off. Maybe. More in the news, I guess. We got the coronavirus. I don't know what's going on with this beer virus. Apparently, it's being cases all over China. China's been just sick. Apparently, it's coming over to the damn United States now. It's like caught up in the UK and like Germany and I don't know, all over the damn place. And I heard if you suck on a lime, you'll be fine. But for real, they actually like posted an article on Fox that like they were very much had to put it out there that it had nothing to relate with beer. Like, people were that fucking stupid that they really thought it was like really related to beer, and like, oh my god. I know, shitty joke, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's what they did, and it was kind of a funny article to read that they were really just really trying to defend Corona and saying that the coronavirus had nothing to do with the alcoholic beverage of Corona beer, which was kind of funny. I found it hilarious. I'm sure the sickness is not, but you got to make light of any shitty situation, right? Because, well, let's face it, I've lived through the bird flu, I've lived through anthrax, I've lived through now the coronavirus. You know, we're just living through these things. I don't even know, quite honestly, much about it. I don't even know where the hell coronavirus comes from. Like, it stems from like China. I get that, but I don't get how people got it. And like, if it's just some random strain that just like kind of started out as like a cold and is now like hit like some steroid kind of like build up, and now it's like coronavirus. I don't really know. I'm just going with, I don't want none of that shit. Yeah, I don't know. Start vaccinating people for that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all need the corona vaccine. Oh, dude. It's going to give another one for all the anti-vaxxers to hold on to is, yeah, well, I'm not getting that vaccine. It's got Pennzoil in it. And, you know, it's got a little bit of metal shavings and a little bit of autism. I ain't getting it. Well, coronavirus. Maybe I shouldn't even start on that rant, because seriously, I'm just you anti-vaxxers. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get the anti-vaxxers, man. Like, that shit don't make sense to me. More or less, I just am gonna keep on getting vaccinated, quite honestly. Donald Trump is on his campaign trail. Watched a lot of that lately. That was pretty fucking funny. I love how the guy literally stops to compliment himself almost at every turn. That's awesome. Created jobs. I'm great. I did that. Every time the guy talks, man. Like, it's like, tell something good that just, I think, just coincidentally is happening, but he thanks himself for doing it, which, gotta support the guy for that. I mean, quite honestly, the nerve of this guy is just, it's funny. It's very funny. I mean, a little less on the makeup maybe next time he goes on TV, because seriously, that guy is just dabbing the shit out of it. I mean, who's ever his artist, like, yeah, and I literally call the makeup artist an artist, because you can only slap that much paint on something, and it must be art. I mean, a guy is spending some time on that fucking grill, because, dude, they are slobbing it on. I was watching his, I think it was like in Iowa or like Pennsylvania or something. I don't fucking know. He was off in some state, and he was doing his little, I don't know, a border wall talk or something. And just literally, I was just lost in like just the makeup in his face. Like, I had to like literally just stop the video and like zoom in. And I was like, damn, dude. Like, hours of work was put into that. Like, straight up hours. That's not a 5-minute job. That's not a 10-minute. That's not even a half an hour job. Like, that's easy 2 hours. Easy 2 hours of they're just globbing makeup on this guy. I don't know, quite honestly. Unfortunately, he's probably looking like our best candidate for 2020, which I really hate to say that, but it's quite honestly, like, I don't know. Bernie Sanders, not really going for him. You know, like, he just has the stigma of just, well, everything's going to be free. Don't worry about it. Free. But basic capitalism, basic economics says that nothing is free in this world. So where this money's going to come from? Well, I'm going to take from the rich. No, you're really not. You're probably going to take from the people that are already, like, riddled in debt. Like, You know, they put themselves like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to become a surgeon or something like that. This is someone that makes a lot of money and like doesn't take into consideration of how much time and money that they've spent to make their money. So taking from that person, I just don't really agree with his theory. I don't agree with it. Like Bernie Sanders has really just never made too much sense to me. So I really can't vote for this guy. Joe Rogan now, I guess he put on Twitter that, you know, he was spewing off that Joe Rogan supports him and is endorsing him and all this stuff. And I listened to Bernie Sanders on the Joe Rogan podcast, and it was good. I mean, but Joe Rogan, on the other hand, doesn't do a whole lot of talking in his podcast. He doesn't do like he kind of just lets them go. Or at least in that one, just Bernie Sanders just talked about basically what he was going to do and how he was going to change things and how he's better than Trump, blah, blah, blah stuff. Like basic political junk that, like, at this rate, I've heard it so many times. Like, dude, I'm 33 years old. I've heard these political spiels so many damn times in my life now that it's just, quite honestly, it's all a bunch of BS, and it's all a bunch of lies, and it's all about a bunch of just get yourself in the presidential seat, and then from there isn't really jack shit that you do. Like, I mean, on hindsight, at least Trump has actually done stuff that he promised he was going to do. You know, that's better than the Obama administration. And don't give me the Obamacare spiel, because that was like the worst medical plan we could have ever had or have. So, I mean, quite honestly, at least Trump is sticking by it. He said he was going to build a wall. Everybody thought he was crazy. And that motherfucker started building a damn wall. I mean, dude, like, he actually did it. He said he was going to give us the insights of the government. And his whole impeachment trial has been completely insights on the government. I mean, dude, that whole thing has been political people literally sitting in a room on live television, snitching on themselves. Just snitching and snitching and snitching. And, like, I mean, fuck Trump at this rate. Screw what they got to say about him on the amount that they've snitched on themselves. I've heard about like 7 conspiracies come true. I've heard like literally some whole scandals that should be highly investigated. And it wasn't so much on like what Trump did or what Trump could do or could have done or anything. Like, dude, like it's straight up like Edward Snowden just walked in there and was just like, yeah, so here's the government. Let's unfold everything. And this is what they did. And now they're even coming out and like to say it. And I don't know, one of the senators is saying that he doesn't even want to like call any more witnesses to this thing. Like, I put a comment on the thing and I was like, dude, this is the biggest waste of time in American history, but the most knowledgeable time in the American government system. Because literally, it's showing how vulnerable we are. It is showing how like dumb we are. It is literally showing how corrupt all these politicians are, how those senators are. Like, it's literally down to a T. Just, it almost to a point makes me embarrassed to be an American, because it's like, yeah, that's my politicians. Yeah, I apologize for all of them. It's like, holy shit, dude. It's like, you know when Trump went off and called like, what the fuck was it? He called like Haiti or something like a shithole. It's like Haiti now can look at us through this whole trial process. He'd be like, holy shit, what a shithole. Dude, literally have done nothing but snitch on themselves. And like the worst part of this is they talk about how Russia influenced our election and all this shit and got Trump into office, which only just then like puts a stigma on that's how easily corrupted our country is, and even our electoral colleges, because really that's what it boils down to. And I mean, oh my god, dude, we looked so weak to everybody else. I don't hear of any country having this deal. Like, I don't blame fucking Putin for sitting back in his fucking big old like throne and just laughing his ass off. Like, you people are completely stupid. It's almost embarrassing. Like, there's only like I've only gotten like like, I'll listen to like an hour here, an hour there of every single day out of this trial, and every time I just only shake my head and just be like, damn, dude, we look like the weakest country in the world right now. We gotta look so weak. You are just blatantly telling the world that we have no control, couldn't do it, we've been hiding money, we've been taking money, we've been attacking other countries and, you know, abusing our power, and, you know, we're letting all these foreign countries come in, and they totally have taken control and corrupted our whole electoral system. Like, this is stuff that we should not be saying to anybody, let alone put it on live TV for the whole world to see. This is something that just blows my frickin' mind that we should not be telling people about. And, like, don't get me wrong, I love my country. I stand by my country 100%. Now, America, I'm dead, you know, dead on. But this is really stuff that we should not at all be putting out to the public, let alone the rest of the world. We should not be putting this kind of just stigma out there. Like, this looks so bad. I really just, there's like, it's not, I can't even come up with a joke for it because it's not really funny at all. It like literally pisses me off that this is what we're doing and this is what we're showing the world and telling the world. Like, we all know you're corrupt as fuck. We all know that, like, literally you're running shit under the table. Hillary Clinton is running countries by fucking emails and phone. We know this shit. Like, the average not dumb person knows this. But you really shouldn't tell us it. Like, the whole 30,000 emails thing should have been something that really should have just kept under wraps. Do we know this is happening? Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Even the whole Edward Snowden thing. Did we know that our government was definitely spying on our phone calls, that Google is hoarding all of our fucking searches, and Verizon is just, you know, tracking all our phone calls, and all this stuff is being stored in a big old data bank, and if they ever got to pull all this shit out on any of us, do we know all this shit? Hell, yes we do. But the fact of it is you don't really need to tell the public about it. And, well, they blame Edward Snowden for releasing it all and telling everybody. But he didn't really tell anybody that we didn't already. He confirmed it. But when I first heard it, I didn't sit back and be like, oh my gosh, no way. How could they ever do something like that? No, it was like, oh, well, yeah. It's probably something they're doing. Yeah, most definitely. Like, and not just Americans, but yeah, I'm sure that, you know, the CIA has got people posted up in every country there is. And sure, we have people going and scouting out and hacking shit and spying on shit and taking private information and all that. It's happening. It's gonna happen regardless. Even when Edward Snowden put it all out there, and it was open to the public. Do you think the government just thought, we should stop doing something like this. We should stop invading their constitutional rights. Fuck no. They just kept doing it and basically just threatened the guy with, like, life imprisonment, so he flew off to fucking Russia into hiding. That was it. The government didn't hide any of it. It was like Area 51, dude. They bluntly denied something that we very knew was just sitting in the middle of the Arizona desert, and we had every shot of it. Like, Google Maps, you go in the middle of the desert, and all of a sudden you see a fucking, like, a little, like, scribbled line, like a blurted out, like, whole base. I wonder what the fuck that is. Like, dude, straight up, man, it's like, the fact that the government is doing shady shit is nothing of a surprise to us. It's just we shouldn't be telling the whole fucking world and the public about it, how we're doing it, and be snitching on each other about all the different shady shit that they do. Because, I mean, when you're not hearing about Trump, it's probably the most innocent fucking guy out of the whole fucking deal if you really look at it. I mean, dude, this dude, he didn't grow he didn't grow into presidency. He didn't grow as a politician, dude. Like, he's probably the most innocent one out of all. It's kind of like that Bible verse. It's like the one without some straight up fucked up fucking scandals cast the first stone. And none of them fuckers are throwing a damn stone. That's all I'm saying. They are not throwing a single damn stone in anybody's direction because they're all involved, man. Like I watched that show Vice, or just not a show, it was a movie about Dick Cheney on Hulu. I mean, that is exactly how I envision the government, for sure. And it's not just they made Dick Cheney look like a straight up antichrist, but I'm going to tell you right now, and of any politician, and I've said this before, like, every single one of them. I mean, another non-shady one, as I will say, is probably Obama. I would give him that because, yeah, he was probably like the less of the shady. Like, and along with Trump, dude, quite honestly, like, dude, this dude is just trying to make like some left-handed deals and trying to make this shit all like, one of his failed companies. But But ultimately, dude, I don't think he really gets too much in these scandals. I just really don't think the guy's even, like, bluntly at all even told about it. Quite honestly, he's just following instructions. I mean, there are hands above our officials that are pulling all the strings, man. Like, I'm just saying right now. Like, dude, straight up. But this whole thing has been nothing but a shit show. It's funny to watch. I mean, and seeing Trump's tweets, I mean, dude, the guy is he's just hilariously funny. I could go with 4 more years of it. You don't think he's going to start a war anytime soon. I just think he's just going to keep on saying some crazy obscene shit. And yeah, why not? And unveil the government to us. I mean, if it's going to happen, I mean, I'll take a front row seat to it. I'll watch it. I'll listen. Don't think they should be, but I'll take a front row seat because it's really not him saying it. It's just him laying down the stepping stones for them to just snitch on themselves. And I think this shit's quite fucking funny. I mean, I don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't know. It's pretty fucking funny though. Trump is probably going to get it again. Like, I don't see how he wouldn't at this rate. What's his name? Mike Bloomberg. I don't know. I see another fucking Hulu ad on his ass. I swear. Dude, you should be able to block ads on Hulu of like, do you want to see this ad again? No. It doesn't make me... It literally have cut me out from voting from that guy. Like, I will never give him my vote. I will never support him. Just on the Hulu ads alone. Because every fucking time I get an ad, it's always that damn guy. I know, it's some global warming, blah, blah, blah shit. Dude, don't, fuck off. Like, seriously, it's just every fucking ad with this guy. Honestly, in somewhere in my little fucked up mind, I think that my ad would be cut down by, I wouldn't have a 70-second ad if 30 seconds of it wasn't played by Mike fucking Bloomberg. So, you lost my vote. Just simply on Hulu revenue, dude. You lost it. Sure, Hulu can't really blame them because we're making money, and I'm sure they're paying a shitload of money for them to run to run that ad that many fucking times. It's every fucking time. So Hulu's just making their money. It's that guy's fault. I lost my vote just on that alone. No, fuck you, Bloomberg. Done with you. Done with your ads. You messed it up for yourself. Yeah, that's how easy it is to lose my vote. Damn it. Alpha Blue will not be on that ballot. So, that's pretty much where I go with all that. Last week, I didn't do this. I was sick as shit. I don't know, I might have had a small case of the corona fucking flu or something. But, I didn't drink beer to get rid of it, which sucks. I pretty much just drank a whole bunch of NyQuil and just kind of let that go. So, you guys could have heard me on like a NyQuil rant. That would have been kind of fun, huh? But, I was sick as shit. Couldn't even make it. Couldn't do it. I was dead to rights on just sleeping. It's kind of where that was. Fucking coronavirus. So, the next thing is, I'm just saying, rest in peace to Kobe. Rest in peace to his daughter. Don't worry about the coronavirus. Because I feel like if we all get Lyme's, we are legit. We're good. We're in it. To win it. You know what I'm saying? You pick that shit up for me, local grocery store. So, that's it for this one. It'll be a short one. That's all I got this week. And that's been episode 3. Remember to like and subscribe. And